one of the biggest categories of entity is called an egregor. What do you know about egregors? When you share anything about egregors?
With all of these kinds of entities and beings out there, I think it doesn't really matter how they look like, their shapes or origins or anything else, because like it's just gonna be a story. What matters is how they affect us, and are we the victims, or can we actually coexist and they're doing their own thing and we're doing our own thing? And so for me, like it's the perspective of, are people actually having the bleacher effect from these beings, Egregors, Tulpas, and anyone else? And are they suffering from too many thoughts and emotions and feeling states amplified, and kind of having someone else controlling and impacting their life, and pretty much just like being a puppet or feeling like a Truman in the Truman Show?
Yeah, it's a good point. So labels don't matter anymore, really. Is it a tulpa? Is it an egregor? Is it a astral parasite? Is it an extraterrestrial regressive? It doesn't really fucking matter. What really matters is what you're talking about here. Can you deal with them? Can you understand what's going on well enough to deal with them? And if you step back from it, really, it's all in the mind, all of it. This world, anything that ever fucked with me or gave me a problem or any problem I ever fucking had, it's all in here. I'm doing it somehow, some weird, deep fucking way. I am responsible for this, including entity shit. And I've had my share of entity issues, just like everybody else. And used to be, it was very challenging and frustrating. I felt like, the effect of it. But more and more, as I've learned how to spot them and deal with them or understand the phenomena, you learn a few things to get them out of your space. But,
So let's talk about it. How are all of these entities affecting people?
yeah.
Doesn't matter who they are, because there are just too many, and there's more and more every day because someone else will think of something and create something new, but it's gonna affect people. So let's say, when it comes to you, how have you noticed throughout your life how the entities affect you?
Well, when it first started out, it was like 30 fucking 40 years ago, 1984, when I first heard about them and like, what? They were generally called, no, it's not what they call. They were like little fuzzball energy balls, kind of a darkish, if you could see them. And they'd be all sizes and shapes, and they they cling to people like we're magnets to these things. And they're all semi-conscious or unconscious, but there is a sentient being there, or was, and now he's all fucked up and he's just being angriness, or he's being a pain in the fucking shoulder. He's he's attaching to your stuff, your mental and physical stuff. That was the kind of entities back then. And so you would spot the condition or thought that you're having, but with the knowing that it's not you, it's an entity phenomena. Then you scan your body and you find out where it is, and then you communicate to it one way or another, help wake it up. And the theory was that if you wake this thing up, it'll go, huh, what, and it'll leave you. So, but that was like 40 fucking years ago. They've upgraded their tech and their ability to fuck with people since then. But that's how it all started. And so I got rid of like hundreds and hundreds of those.
Yeah, so you learn how to deal with them, but like, what are some of the issues you have had because of these entities?
The biggest issue is having a thought or feeling and you think it's yours and it's not yours, and you're all fucked up, emotionally pissed off and fucked up about something. And come to find out, well, it's, you can intellectually know it, but in a feeling state, you're feeling a certain way, and you go, is it, there is an entity here? Yeah, maybe I'm not seeing it, but you're being it. So yeah, yeah. So it can affect one's emotional perspective or one's beingness. And when you're being something, however I'm being happy, I'm being great, I'm being cavalier, I'm being bold, I'm being fucked up, pissed off. All these are beingnesses, and you want to pay attention. Is this just me, or do I have a being or an entity of some kind fucking with my beingness, so it changes how I'm being? That's the big thing, because if you change your being, you change what you think about and feel about and bring about. In other words, you start manifesting based on how you're being. And if you're being a fucking dick, you're gonna manifest dicky shit. If you're being a fucking victim, you're gonna be manifesting victim stuff, right? Yeah, yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? I could have kept going, but I go, no. Your turn.
I mean, yeah, people attract entities, of course. For me, like, the interest, you talk about your awareness, learning about entities, a little bit about their looks, if for those that can see them, but then learning how to deal with them and learning that, okay, I have to be aware enough to know that some of these thoughts and feelings are mine and some of it is not. But like in your personal life, as you go day to day, what kind of impact have you noticed these entities have in your life? Like, not just, okay, I have a thought of these entities, but like what kind of thoughts, what kind of emotions, how did it impact your day to day actions and stuff?
I see. Yeah, the way it affects a person, myself included, is that it will put you in that beingness I'm talking about, and you will live being that. And from that perspective of that being, what I'm being is causing me, it's because I'm being this, I'm thinking certain things while I'm being this way. And when I think certain things, I'm going to trigger certain emotions. Or I'm in this being place, I'm being this way, and it's going to cause me to feel a certain way. And now that I'm feeling this certain way, it's going to cause me or inspire me to think in a certain way. So again, it comes down to the being a certain way. And if an entity is influencing me, that's not good. But I'm being this way, I'm having these thoughts and these feelings, and that's manifestation stuff. So that's going to manifest my life. And it's going to, my life is, I truly believe in this. It's what we think and feel and focus on predominantly is what will cause our life to manifest the way it is. It's the story we're telling ourselves. Our whole life is what we're manifesting, kind of like that. So yeah. I mean, I could talk for a fucking hour about this shit, but I don't want to just go rah.
No, it's okay. I was kind of going a certain direction, but I assume you didn't want to go there. Talk about yourself and everything else, just to give people a hook and all. So when it comes to those that you have worked with, and there's plenty because we both worked on them. You work by yourself on someone else, and you know that they have entities. What kind of issues do people have that are affected by the entities?
I'm still stuck on where did you want to go that I didn't want to go? What was that? What did you want me to talk about my own entity stuff?
People love hearing stuff that will help them relate to something. Yeah, so like 3 times I kind of tried to ask the question to see if you would share your own personal story about having a road rage because of an entity or something else. But I'm like, okay, he doesn't want to go there. That's fine. I'm not gonna push it. Like rabbits. Like I know how it works.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It took a while. No, I get it. We'll talk about me. Fine.
It's always about you. Anyways.
I know, right? All right. Okay, so I can be walking around. Here's the one that really this pisses me off, right? Now, is that me pissed off or is that an entity?
I don't know. But people like seeing you pissed off.
Yeah, I don't know, Rich, but keep it up. I can have a really great fucking day. Do a lot of spiritual work, one thing or another, getting rid of entities and egregors and all that bullshit and extraterrestrial regressive ETs. I can do all that shit, right? Feeling great. Oh man, do I feel fucking good, man. On top of the world. Night night. What a great day. Wake up the next morning. Fuck. Just another day on planet I love you Earth. Oh. Why do I feel like shit? Right? That's the one I fucking hate. What is that? What is that entities? Is that yin yang? Is that the duality of this universe? What comes around goes around, up and down, hot and cold, back and forth, good and bad. Yeah.
It happens to a lot of people, like the paradigm crash. And again, different people, different cases, different scenarios. Like on my end, when it comes to having entities in my space and being fully aware that it's them, it's like you're saying, you can have a great day, just doing your thing, like being productive, or at least like either it's normal or good. And out of the sudden, like out of the blue, there are thoughts of suicide. I just want to die. Like, girl, you're doing fine. You have everything set up. Like, why would you go there? So it's like so many different scenarios where, even on the best day when you're avoiding Murphy's Law and all that jazz,
Yeah.
it's like you get some weird ass stuff that just does not match your character. If you're thinking positively and all of a sudden have a very negative thought or have this sudden switch in personality, like, of course, we're going to have characters that we're going to jump into, but like, it depends on the scenario. Like, if you're going to play one character for, dependent on the situation around you, and then you're going to switch into something else as the day goes by, and you're going to have like a few key characters that you're going to keep on switching and playing with, but there are some that just does not match certain characters that you have or personality you have. And like having enough awareness to know the difference that, yeah, it's me. I know I can get pissed off. I know I can get triggered. I know I can react that way, but this is just not me. And so for people to have the kind of awareness where they're doing stuff or they react, they know that there's going to be something their mom will say or coworker will do, and it's just going to trigger them and piss them off. But some reactions are just on steroids. People are like have this amplified reaction to something and their emotions are like over the top. That's not necessarily you. Like some reaction part of it, yeah, but the rest, like, yeah, focusing on it, cortisol and yada yada yada, like that's you, sure. But some of it, So like there's just like a lot of variations that people have when it comes to entities, and like at the end of the day, like I say, like it doesn't matter how they look, it doesn't matter what they're called, it matters like how are you affected by them. And there's just like so many cases where people hear thoughts or either hear them or have someone talk and they misidentify themselves with some entity and think like that the thinking they have is not an entity but them. So like that whole misidentification, or like the emotional switch getting triggered, or even like an entity planting an intention for people to do stuff that will cause like failure later or trigger certain events. A lot of cases.
Yeah. So the trick, if you can do it, it is a lot of self-reflection and know thyself, right? And determining when is my emotional response really me, or am I being influenced? And that can be a challenge. But either way, if you can get it said it's a struggle, because you want to talk in the positive, right? You want to think positive, talk positive, feel positive. When you're feeling like shit and you're thinking negative thoughts, you go, this is not me. But what? And then you get angry about it. You go, what the fuck is going on here? This is fucked up. And I go, oh, wait, I'm saying with a lot of emotion, this is fucked up. Am I manifesting or perpetuating the fucked upness of it all? Well, no. But at the same time, what if being able to talk it out gives you some relief and you're able to let it go? You've talked it out, you resolved it in some way. That's just cathartic, someone to talk to sort of thing. It works. Why does that work? whatever else you're doing, you're looking at your own mind and your own thoughts and your own feelings, and entity stuff is in there and all that stuff, but you're getting it all out on the table. You're seeing, you're getting some relief from it because you have an understanding of what it's about, and you can let it go. So you can stop thinking about it. You've sorted it out. Oh, that's why that happened. Oh, that was an entity that I picked up, when I was in high school, or whatever your realization is about it. And it doesn't really matter if it was really true or not. It's in your own mind. Pop, pop. It just clears up. And you go, oh, and now you let it go and you stop thinking about it. You stop feeling about it. You've released the emotions by expressing it. Oh, so that's a kind of a strategy I've used for like 50 fucking years, since 1970, I guess. Yeah. It works. I mean, look at me today. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? But yeah.
Who am I talking to, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask that. That's another thing, right? That's a whole nother subject. There's me. Well, which me are you talking about? The Jungian psychology thing, the inner child, the warrior within, the sage, the healer, all these, they're archetypes, they call them. But are those just you shifting beingness and it's still me? Or is that an entity? And if it's an entity, is it another me entity? Or is it some stranger entity being the wounded healer? Oh, poor me. And I'm all whiny because I tried to heal somebody and it didn't work and I'm all fucked up. Now, is this archetype, is that an entity? Is that a tulpa? No. Is that an egregor? Nah. Lower astral being? Yeah, no. Regressive ET? Fucking with me? I don't know, maybe. It just doesn't fucking matter. If you're being a whiny little bitch about it, do something. It doesn't really matter what you do either. Oh, God.
A lot of people will attract these beings because it's gonna help them to survive. Like whether for entertainment, someone to talk to. Look at me talking to myself, the smartest person in the world. Always listens, always supports, always here to help, always good for bickering, but always gives a good advice. And you just keep on going with inviting tons of beings who are gonna be there for you. And like eventually, like, do you need them in your space? A lot of people want to get rid of them, but they're kind of like clinging to them at the same time because, like, hey, who else is gonna entertain me? Who else are gonna give all those like bitchy remarks to someone else and all?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cluster. Like a lot of it is us, like you're saying, different archetypes. Is it us? Is it some entities? Is it another part of an entity that's our aspect, or just invite someone else who's there to support? Like if it's empowering a person, that's great. But for many, they will have some kind of traumas, they will have some, negative reactions or focuses in life or past experiences that weren't that good, and they're gonna cling to those things, and then it's gonna kind of like a bleed through, and person will misidentify those issues and feelings and thoughts with like the entity and take it for themselves. And that's the place where it gets in the way when it becomes negative and it impacts our lives the way where we're being limited by those things, or it's amplifying certain feelings and emotions in a way that's not going to help us out eventually, or lead us to experiences that kind of causes misunderstandings, miscommunications, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's not good. And that's where people should have enough awareness and understanding about themselves and to be able to tell the difference between who they are and who's in their space.
Yeah. It's like people should be aware of this, right? Back in the 70s and 60s, this stuff was known. Not all the details that we're talking about, but basically there are entities and there's a lot of them. And they do this. They will make you feel and think and act certain ways. But back in those days, it was a no-no. You don't tell everybody about this. You had to be at a certain level of understanding, awareness, spiritual things in the mind and consciousness and being and all that stuff, before you would be introduced to the phenomena, because the theory was it was too much for people. They go, ugh. And they could, if they knew about it, they would be thinking about it, and then they would bring in all this stuff in, but then they wouldn't have the ability to do anything about it. That was a theory back in those days. So it was kept secret for years and years. But in this day and age with the internet and all that, YouTube, it's like everybody's talking about this shit.
Oh, that's the thing. I think the mainstream media and a lot of like entertainment industries, as many people, hate that, it brings a lot of positive stuff in a way that it gives us awareness. A lot of movies or TV shows or cartoons or animes or books, you name it, while they might have a lot of programming, it also does have some self-disclosure and gives a kind of view of a different reality or perspective that kind of makes it okay, like, oh, there are monsters among us, and there's some of them are friendly and some of them are not. And they talk to each other, it's like all cartoonish, so people are like accepting that stuff. But eventually, like for younger generation, I think kids and stuff, because they have not been programmed yet, and their visuals are great and all, they're able to see that stuff. They're able to talk to people about like, hey, I've been seeing this being, and we kept on talking, and someone's calling like, it's just imaginary friend. Well, it's not. But like, I think like this generation has like easier with the access and kind of like more acceptance to it. But at the same time, the other part of it, like, you're gonna be called crazy if you talk about it.
Yeah. You brought up an interesting point. It's about the positive aspects of all this craziness. This, what I'm about to talk about, could piss some people off. But hey, let's talk about the positive aspects of how fucked up this world is. Yeah, wars and killing and all this programming and mind fucking and reincarnational trap loops. What the fuck? That's so terrible. Yeah. Well, what else? What better way to entertain a god being than to mind fuck themselves into a confusing mess called physical universe, earth, reincarnational looping? What better way to spend the day if you live for an eternity and you've done everything and now you're involved playing this fucking game, and it's so fucked up, I'm trapped forever. Well, yeah, that's a long time, and probably not forever ever. You're either going to pop out of it this way or you're going to pop out of it that way. Anyway.
And people say, like, with all this awareness that we have, like, all this brainwashing and mind fucking themselves into coming back and forgetting all the stuff. Like, a lot of people are like, I would never forget all the stuff. Like, I would keep all the memories. But then you look at tons of examples where people watch a certain movie or TV show or play a game, and it was so fun that I would love to forget it so that I could experience it again. And like, I recently, the video we uploaded, like, attracted some people who made a video after that, collecting this information where one after another, there are tons of people talking about how they would love to forget the stuff they've experienced for real so that they could redo it again. And it's just like an evidence, like, you get bored or something was so exciting that you would love to get that thrill at that level again. Because when you watch a good TV show and it's like, you're done, it's like, that was great. But when you rewatch it again, it's like, yeah, it's great. But you already seen it, you already reached that high, you already had those emotions and that thrill and stuff. So like, this world gives so many crazy emotions for people, a lot of suffering, a lot of trauma experiences, but also so much fun if they are capable of reaching that. Like, so a lot of variations, and people are like, once they're done, some of them will want to come back, not because like, hey, that was great, but more like, wow, I don't think I'll find such challenging place again.
Yeah. And that brings up the thing about competitive sports, fighting, boxing, gladiators, and online games, hack and slash, shooters, snipers, killers, hitman. It's like, it's gory. It's just a game, but it's all that killing and slaughter and hack and slash and blood everywhere. The gorier the game, the better, And then people want to up, make it harder, make it harder, make it harder. Well, we can do that in real life. And so it tells me the nature of beings, not just human beings, but the competitive nature of beings. There's two beings sitting out in space. Dude, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. And well, let's make something. Okay, well, I'll make a little world over here, and you make a little. Oh, how pretty! Oh, yours is pretty too. So you can play admiration and love and respect for a long, long time until like, what do we want to do today? Oh, I don't know. It's such a beautiful world. I think I'll squish it. Just for something to change it fucking up. And so that's what we do. We play. It's called play. And you know, you got a goodie. I want your goodie. That's the game. You know, football, goalpost, basketball, hoop. You know, no, give me the ball. You know, who gets the ball? It's just a fucking game. Who gets the world? Who gets the body? It's just it's that nature of us that gets into competition and stuff. So here we are in a fucking world like this. It's like it's gone ape shit crazy. It's over the top with that sort of weirdness.
Almost everyone puts some kind of limit on themselves while coming here. And for a lot of people who don't have visuals, it's like, if you had visuals, you would escape. But you wanted to remove the visuals because you knew you would get out of your first chance so that you could experience the thing you wanted to get. And there's like a lot of variations. Like I know plenty of, you know, psychics or people are who have really good jobs and like successful life and everything else, but they've created plenty of challenges for themselves in this life willingly, so that it would be at least decent enough experience. And like that's the thing, a lot of people are looking for that, oh, extraction, Tigatans, please save me, but it's like, bitch, that's never gonna happen.
No.
Like, you have to work your ass off and do the work to the point where it's like, you can save yourself, and then they're gonna be like, this person's worth taking, we need them there. But if you're just bickering and bitching and whining how bad your life is, like, no one's gonna want you. Your soul family, your soul family out there.
Yeah, it's like, please help me, please save me. You know, spaceship come down. You know, I used to love that too. I love that. Oh, please come down and take me. But it was a long time ago. It was like about a week or two ago. But
what shame.
I've grown a lot since then.
And yeah. Think differently now.
Please save me. It's like, bitch, you know how long it took us to get you down there? And
right.
We're not gonna pull you out of that, motherfucker. You pain in the ass, motherfucker. You
get your job done.
Clean up your shit, and then we'll see. And here's one. Now I go back and forth. You know, tomorrow could be another me, and I could like make an apology video for this video.
Delete. I never say that shit.
Yeah, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was an entity, man. But this thing about forgetting, it's like, no shit, Sherlock. Oh, they made me forget. Oh, I got a mind wipe. Oh, fucking shut the fuck up. You did it yourself. On some level, this is you. No. And I can see this little voice in here going, no, what about the MK Ultra people? They didn't do it to themselves. They didn't shock themselves. Shut up with the little fucking voice, bitch. I'm talking here. All right. So you were talking about people wanting to forget the good stuff so they could relive it. Yeah. But there's other people that want to forget the good stuff because they don't have it now. And it hurts. So they don't want to remember the good stuff because the good stuff hurts. I'm going, Jesus fucking Christ, are you shitting me? I don't remember the good stuff, and I certainly don't want to remember the bad stuff. And then I ask myself, why is my memory getting worse and worse every year? What day is it? I don't know. I don't care. Well, it might be Sunday. Well, Sunday's a fuck day, so I don't want to know if it's Sunday or not. You know, weird shit. I don't know. I'm just kidding around here, fucking around.
But that's the thing. Like you mentioned the positive stuff, forgetting that, you know, whether you had it or not. It's like the other part is trying to forget the traumatized stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people have lost loved ones. A lot of people feel like, okay, you chose to sacrifice yourself for your group, for your people. So you chose to be the only person taken from that spaceship to come here and do something and either hide or pay the price and do stuff so that everyone else could live. Like there are like a lot of variations why people come here, and there's like a lot of regrets, and it just hurts so much to lose a family or someone else, and it's just like, okay, block it. But the other side that most people will never want to confront is that they've done a lot of bad shit themselves. What we experience here with all the suppression and being the victims of that, most of us have done it out there as well.
Yeah.
Killing, the suppression, controlling the world, having your own Truman Show. It's like people like to play that Civilization games or World of Warcraft or other things. It's like, oh, it's interesting. You're controlling the character. You're going to the war. Well, yeah, but you've had a whole planet to yourself where you had a bunch of beings and you could control them and you could cause a lot of fights and a lot of resource harvesting and a lot of like civilization, like evolution and like all the stuff, and that was fun. But you were the one at the head that caused that whole thing to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And say, no, not me. That's bullshit. Every little kid with a firecracker and an anthill has, hey, check it out. And you stick a fucking firecracker in an anthill and you light it up. That's setting a fucking nuke on a world and lighting it up. Look at that. We don't care. It's just a little bunch of fucking ants down there. We don't give a shit. Let's see what happens if we set off a nuke, something like that. It's the it's same game, different scale. That's all it is. And to say, oh, I would never. Oh, shut the fuck up. You already did, and you forgot. How convenient. And here's another mind fuck on that whole subject of doing good and doing bad, justice, balance. When you want to balance things out, karma, karmic law, karmic debt, all that shit. If you want to play. If it's karmic law, it's karmic law. If that's what you believe, fine. If you got a debt to pay it and shut the fuck up or process it some way. But if you don't think it's karma, karmic debt, good, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. But here's a mind fuck. Go up a level or two where we are above time and all these life experiences are happening simultaneously. 100 million years ago and 100 billion years into the future. Oh no, that's too much. Yeah, I know, right? It's a lot. Oh, just maybe 20 years in the future or 150 years in the future. Oh, that's okay. All right. Simultaneous though. So you're doing good in this life, wonderfully good. You're so good and loving, and you've saved an entire planet. While over here, simultaneously, a billion years earlier or a billion years later, you're blowing up fucking planets, killing people, simultaneously. It's like, I don't want to think about that. That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're looking at this like our consciousness is super complicated with all of these scenarios of like forgetting stuff or just blocking it all out and attracting everything else. Like when we started the conversation about entities and like why are we the victims, there's a lot of reasons. People attracted one by manifesting it themselves, but also we have done so much in past or with our different aspect with different experiences that someone will want to like this person kind of got involved with our plans and like kind of destroyed everything. Well, how about little interference here and there, like with that cluster that people carry and everyone has them. It's like at the end of the day, the most important part is like having enough awareness about yourself, about your experiences, about why is it happening to you, what is happening to you, and what can you do about it all.
Yeah. And as a wrap, the entities, I'm an entity, you're an entity. We are godlike being entities. We are human being entities. We are being messed with other entities. We have other entities that are friends, angelic beings, or star family, or spiritual guides and higher selves. All this entity phenomena, including the demons and lower astrals and astral parasites, it all is here for us to deal with and play with and understand or not. But people that are watching kind of video like this, they're going to want to understand the phenomena. Now, we made light of it. I make light and laugh about it and stuff. But for some people, it's very serious, and it is an issue, and there are techniques for dealing with it at whatever level you want to come at it. And Akvile and I, we've been coming at it from all different angles and levels, just because it's all about entities. But in fact, when it gets down to the business, we find out where somebody's at or where our entities are at, and then we deal with them accordingly with one technique or another. But
yeah. And yeah, like another thing I'll add is just depending on your focus and how you're feeling throughout the day, like think of that radio knob. You're gonna switch it and there's gonna be a different frequency, different set, and this is what you tune into. And every single day you turn that knob and turn into different experience, different information, different entities, different feeling states, different realities, and all of that. So it's all about like, what do you want to experience? You can avoid all of that crap if that's not your thing.
yeah.
But you have to work on yourself and like turn that dial and just tune into something that's going to be better for you.
Yeah. And as a final wrap, you can consider all that entity stuff. If you're not really into the entities or it's overwhelming, they're just informational, energetic thought forms or structures in the mind. Informational, energetic structures in your own mind. Okay. So it's the information, what the entity is. It's the energetics or the emotional stuff and the weird energetics, but it's the emotion. So it's the thought and the emotion. And it's in the mind. It's a structure in the mind. So it's a thought form. And so it all comes back down to know thyself and understand your own mind, consciousness, and how to deal and confront and handle the phenomena. I mean, it's said simply, but it's, takes practice. Yeah. Well, all righty. Any final words?
That was a wrap up.
That was a good wrap. Thanks everybody for watching, and your comments are welcome. And Akvile, by the way, and we work together and we do these psychic dual scans. Akvile can see all kinds of fucking entities, and I have 30 or 40 years of experience with different techniques. So together we do what we do and help people as best we can with their entity issues, psychic deep scans. That's what we do. All right. Thank you for watching.